This question is taken from the Hazy 12 General textbook and is exercise 9b.1 question 5. And yesterday we looked at one step, how we get from all these places. So remember P, Q, R, S, T to the other places. So can we get from P, Q, R, S, T? And unless there's a loop round like this for P, unless there's that, there's no way to get back to itself in one step. We're only looking at one step here, or just recapping one step, so we can see that's the case. All right, so you should have that answer. That was question 5, which you should have done. But now what we're going to do is lead from there into looking at 2 steps. So what does it mean, 2 steps? So perhaps pause the video, think about what 2 steps mean. We did talk a little bit about that the other lesson, but have a think and then continue the video. So as we discussed, 2 steps is getting from one place to another in 2 moves. So we can see that we can get from P back to P in 2 moves because we got an arrow going this way here. So that's 1 move, and then we can come back on that same line with this arrow, and that's 2 moves. So in our 2-step one, I'm just going to call that C. I'm going to put a little 2 there for now. I'm not trying to give too much away. So meaning 2 steps. Probably need to do my matrix a bit bigger. From P to P would be 1. Can't get there any other way. This way I can go down to T, but I can't get back again. All right. So, but I can go from P to Q and back to P. So a bit like sort of say Darwin to Adelaide, Adelaide to Darwin. And that is 2 steps, 2 legs of a flight. And I can get back to P. So what I want you to do, I'm going to just create the first line. So perhaps pause the video, you do the same, and then we'll see if we're on the same page. So hopefully you've got the same as this first line. And let's just look at those and make sure that we've got all that correct. So don't forget we're going from P to P. There is one way, we just showed that a minute ago. P to Q, can't get there in 2 moves because I can't come down here and come back up there. That would be 2 moves, but this arrow doesn't help us. And if I can get to Q in 1 move, but not 2. If I take these flights, I go away from it in the second flight. What's next? R. So P to R, there's 2 ways. Let's look at those. And we've got a bit, let's clean this up a bit. We could either go from P to Q and Q to R. And did you pick the other one? Yeah, from P to T and T to R. So there's our 2 ways for that one. From P to S. How do we get from P to S? Well, let me again clean that up. Let's get rid of that. P to S. Did you get your 2 ways? Well, there's 1 way coming down there, and around the outside here, there's 2 ways. So that's 2 as well. And P to T. Well, can we get there? Yes, we can. We can come P to Q and then Q to T. All right, so that's in 2 moves. So what I'd like to do now is pause the video again and complete that matrix. Please don't just let the video play. Please pause it and then see when you get your answers whether you agree with what I've got, and then we can discuss it. So hopefully you did pause the video and you did complete it, and you've got pretty much the same as me here. Just cross-check it. Perhaps pause the video to do that. And probably just one I would like to look at is this one here. This is from S to S. There are 3 ways. 1 was to go up this way. That's 1. 1 was just go up on the same route and back. Remember we talked about that being like a Qantas flight rather than a Virgin Qantas flight, and the last one would be coming up and back here. So I'd like you to have a practice of those, and then guess what? We're then going to look at 3-step. Yep, that's right, 3-step. So how do we get from one place to another in 3 moves? And for now, I'm just going to use this. This is not the correct terminology, but I don't want to show you what the correct terminology is yet. So again, is there a way that we can get from P back to P in 3 flights? So again, perhaps pause the video and see if you can do it in 3 flights. That's from P back to P. Good luck. So you should have got from P to P is not possible in 3 moves. We come this way, then we start heading away from P, so we can't do it in 3 moves. And here it won't be 3 moves, it'll be just 2. So you should have got 0. But I do want you to look at Q to P. And Q to P, how can we get from Q to P in 3 moves? Is that possible? So perhaps pause the video and have a look at that. Or you can keep on watching, it's your call. So Q to P, right? So we can use this one. 1, 2, 3. That gets us back to P. That's one of them. But there's actually 3 ways, and let's see if we can find them all. Well, how else can we go? Okay, so we can go 1, 2, 3 that way. So think of this more as pilots doing flights. Can they go from Q to P, but it takes them 3 flights to do it. So perhaps they're getting off at P. And the third one, can we spot that one? Well, that would be Q to R, back to Q, and then on to P. And there's your 3. So what I'd like you now to do, and this is going to take a bit longer, because I'm going to give you a heads up, some of them go all the way up to 9. There are 9 different answers. So I really want you to stay with this one. Can you come up with all of the answers for a 3-step, don't forget 3-step, for this network here, this connectivity network. Right, good luck. Pause the video and check your answers in a minute. So this is the answer you should have for your 3-step routes. You can see there's some very big numbers, like this one here, from S to R. There's 9 different ways that that's possible. From S to R, 9 different ways. That's crazy. And some not very many. R to P, there's only 1 way in 3 steps that you can achieve it. So I'll be interested to know how long that took you. It probably took you quite a while. And equally, how many of those you got right. Because it is a tricky one to do. I want you to think that I didn't take my time doing that. Even though I paused the video, I sort of did a bit of a cheat. I want you to think, how did I cheat to get these answers? One way is you could actually start looking back at these ones and using the 1-step and 2 steps to think, how do I then make it to be 3 steps, because those are sort of linked together. But there's another trick that I did, and that's what I'll teach you in the next part of this lesson. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you found that useful.